The core premise. The novel is structured using a dual timeline. The present timeline is set in the spring and summer of 2020, during the height of the COVID-19 pandemic. The past timeline takes place during the late 1980s. To escape the pandemic lockdowns, 3 adult daughters return to their family's cherry orchard in northern Michigan. While picking cherries to save the harvest due to a labor shortage, the daughters beg their mother, Laura, to tell them the full, unvarnished story of her youth. Specifically, they want to hear about the summer she spent acting at a theater company called Tom Lake, where she shared both a stage and an intense romantic relationship with a man named Peter Duke, who later became one of the most famous film stars in the world. Deep character profiles. 1. Laura Nelson, née Kennison, the protagonist and narrator. In the present day, she is a content, grounded woman in her late 50s, deeply in love with her husband Joe and her quiet life on the orchard. Her past, in her early 20s, Laura accidentally stumbled into acting after auditioning for a community theater production of Thornton Wilder's classic play Our Town in New Hampshire. Her performance as Emily Webb got her discovered by a Hollywood agent. She moved to Los Angeles, shot a movie that sat on a shelf for years, and eventually ended up at the Tom Lake Theater Company in Michigan for a summer season. Arc. Laura's journey is about the realization that the glitz, passion, and volatility of her youth were not her true calling. Her telling of the story is highly curated. She shares the romance with her daughters but keeps certain painful, deeply intimate secrets to herself, showing her growth into a wise matriarch who understands that some parts of life belong only to the person who lived them. 2. Peter Duke, the catalyst, a wildly charismatic, physically dazzling, and intensely energetic young actor who plays Emily's suitor, George Gibbs, alongside Laura at Tom Lake. His nature. Duke is a force of nature, passionate, deeply magnetic, but fundamentally unstable and self-absorbed. He falls hard for Laura, and they share a manic, sun-drenched summer romance. Arc. While Laura ultimately walks away from acting, Duke ascends to global superstardom, winning Academy Awards and becoming a Hollywood icon. However, his unhinged energy eventually takes a toll on his mental health and relationships, leaving a tragic, bittersweet legacy when he passes away years later. 3. The daughters. Emily, the eldest, named after Laura's famous character. Emily is serious, practical, and fiercely dedicated to taking over the family cherry orchard. For years, she harbored a quiet, secret obsession that Peter Duke might actually be her biological father because of the timeline, a tension that drives much of her curiosity. Maisie, the middle daughter. A veterinary student, Maisie is pragmatic, nurturing, and deeply connected to the animals on the farm. She acts as a comforting anchor among the sisters during the long, repetitive days of fruit harvesting. Nell, the youngest. Aspiring to be an actress herself, Nell views her mother's past through a highly romanticized lens. She is glamorous, emotional, and longs for the spotlight, seeing her mother's youthful summer as a theatrical fairy tale. 4. Joe Nelson, the husband, is the director of the Tom Lake Theater Company who initially cast Laura and Duke. In the present, he is Laura's steady, endlessly devoted husband and the owner of the orchard. His role. Joe is the anti-Duke. Where Duke was volatile, loud, and selfish, Joe is patient, quiet, and deeply loving. He represents the slow, enduring beauty of a well-built life versus the flash-in-the-pan burn of youthful infatuation. Detailed plot breakdown. Act 1. The Gathering and the Audition. The novel opens in 2020 on the Nelson family orchard. The pandemic has forced the world to stop, bringing Emily, Maisie, and Nell back to the isolated beauty of Michigan. To break the monotony of hard manual labor in the orchards, the girls demand the story of Peter Duke. Laura takes them back to her origin story. As a young girl in New Hampshire, she auditioned for Our Town simply because she knew the lines. Her natural, unforced performance caught the eye of a talent scout, leading to a film contract in Los Angeles. However, the film industry proved to be slow and hollow. While waiting for her film to release, her agent sent her to Tom Lake, a rustic summer stock theater in Michigan, to play Emily Webb once again. Act 2. The Magic of Tom Lake. At Tom Lake, Laura meets Peter Duke, a fellow actor whose talent and raw sexuality completely dominate the room. The chemistry between them is instantaneous and combustible. They are cast as the leads in Our Town, and their offstage life mimics their onstage romance. They spend their days swimming in the lake, drinking, rehearsing, and falling into an all-consuming relationship. During this section, Lara introduces the girls to the rest of the cast, including Sebastian, Peter Duke's fiercely loyal and incredibly handsome brother, and Pallas, a talented dancer who is Lara's roommate and closest confidant that summer. The atmosphere is idyllic, filled with the specific, fleeting magic of youth, where everything feels monumental and permanent. Act 3, The Fracture. The turning point of the past timeline comes when Lara suffers a severe knee injury during a performance, rendering her unable to continue playing Emily. Pallas steps into the role, and the structural dynamics shift completely. While Lara is sidelined, her Los Angeles movie finally premieres. Joe, the director, takes Lara to a local cinema to watch it. Seeing herself on screen, Lara experiences a profound epiphany. She is a good actress, but she doesn't love it. She doesn't want the vulnerability, the exposure, or the constant validation required by Hollywood. Simultaneously, she returns to the theater cabin early one night and discovers Peter Duke and Pallas together. Duke's affection has shifted seamlessly to the new Emily. Instead of being entirely broken by the betrayal, Lara realizes the truth about Duke. He loves the characters and the high of the theater, not her. Shortly after, Duke suffers a massive mental breakdown, showing the early signs of the instability that would plague his superstar life. Lara packs her bags, quietly leaves Tom Lake, and abandons her acting career forever. Act 4, Resolution and Grace. Back in the present, Lara delivers the emotional climax of the story to her daughters. She explains how she eventually reconnected with Joe years later, realizing he was the true love of her life. She addresses Emily's long-held secret anxiety. Joe is absolutely, without a doubt, the biological father of all three girls. Lara reveals a secret she kept from her daughters during the narration. After leaving Tom Lake, she discovered she was pregnant with Duke's child, but chose to have a safe abortion, a choice she never regretted because it allowed her to walk toward the beautiful, stable life she eventually built with Joe. The novel concludes with the family learning of Peter Duke's death in the present day. Duke had requested that his ashes be scattered near Tom Lake. Emily, finally free of her doubts, realizes the immense grace and protection her mother provided them by choosing a quiet life of picking cherries over the chaos of Hollywood fame. Major themes. The parallel to our town. Thornton Wilder's Our Town is woven into the very DNA of Tom Lake. The play is famously about appreciating the small, mundane moments of daily life before they are gone. Patchett uses Lara's life to mirror this theme. The true beauty of life isn't found in the dramatic, spotlighted moments of youth, acting with Peter Duke, but in the quiet, repetitive, daily acts of love, picking cherries with family. The mystery of parents. The novel brilliantly explores the realization adult children have when they discover their parents had entirely separate, vibrant, complex lives before they existed. Curated truths. Lara doesn't tell her daughters everything. Patchett highlights how a mother protects her children by curating her past, showing that withholding certain details isn't deceitful. It is an act of love and boundaries.